On the morning of December 16, 1944, as snow fell silently over the forests of Belgium, thousands of American soldiers slept believing the war was nearly over. They were wrong. Without warning, Adolf Hitler launched his final and most desperate gamble of World War II. In the frozen Ardennes forest, where the Allies least expected it, the German army struck with overwhelming force. This moment would become known as the Battle of the Bulge, the last major German offensive on the Western Front, and one of the bloodiest battles ever fought by the United States Army. By late 1944, Nazi Germany was collapsing. Allied forces under General Dwight D. Eisenhower had liberated Paris, pushed deep into France, and were advancing toward Germany itself. Hitler knew time was running out. The Eastern Front was bleeding, his army dry against the Soviet Union. Resources were gone. Fuel was scarce. Defeat seemed inevitable. But Hitler believed one bold strike could still change history. His plan was reckless but clear. Smash through the American lines in the Ardennes, capture the vital port of Antwerp, split the British and American armies apart, and force the Western Allies into negotiating peace. If successful, Germany could turn its full strength back against the Soviets. To achieve surprise, Hitler chose winter brutal cold, heavy snow, thick forests, conditions so harsh the Allies believed no major attack was possible. At dawn, more than 200,000 German troops, led by elite panzer divisions under commanders like Sepp Dietrich and Hasso von Manteuffel, poured through the mist. American positions collapsed. Entire units were overrun, roads clogged with retreating soldiers and destroyed vehicles. On Allied maps, the German advance created a deep bulge in the front lines. The name would stick. The weather made everything worse. Temperatures plunged below freezing. Snowstorms grounded Allied aircraft. Soldiers lacked winter clothing. Frostbite spread as fast as fear. Yet in the chaos, resistance hardened. In the Belgian town of Bastogne, the German advance was slowed by the stubborn defense of the US 101st Airborne Division. Surrounded, outnumbered, and cut off from supplies, they were ordered to surrender. Their commander, General Anthony McAuliffe, gave a single reply: nuts. That word became legend. As the battle raged, Allied leadership responded. Eisenhower made a critical decision, ordering General George S. Patton to turn his Third Army north, a maneuver many thought impossible. In one of the most remarkable feats of logistics in military history, Patton's forces pivoted in freezing conditions and smashed into the German flank, relieving Bastogne. By late December, the weather finally cleared. Allied air power returned, devastating German supply lines and exposed tank columns. Germany had gambled everything and lost. The cost was staggering. Over 100,000 American casualties, an estimated 80,000 to 100,000 German casualties, thousands frozen, wounded, or dead in forests that became mass graves. For Germany, the Battle of the Bulge was fatal. It burned through the last reserves of fuel, armor, and trained soldiers the Nazi regime possessed. There would be no recovery. For the Allies, it was a brutal reminder that victory was never guaranteed, and that war punishes complacency. Within 4 months, Berlin would fall. Hitler would be dead. Nazi Germany would surrender. But the Battle of the Bulge mattered far beyond its battlefield. It proved that desperation can drive leaders to sacrifice entire generations for pride. It showed how fragile confidence becomes when survival is at stake. And it revealed that resilience, not power, often decides history. Today, as nations once again test borders, alliances, and red lines, the lesson remains clear. When leaders gamble with war, it is ordinary people who pay the price. The snow eventually melted in the Ardennes, but the memory of that winter never did. History is not old. History is living inside us. One day, one event, one lesson. Mr. Feedy,